Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Friday, September 22nd, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time 2023. Another near X flare, M 8.7, fired off of active region 3435. And that means we could be waiting for a geomagnetic storm this weekend. So get out and look up. Keep calm. It's boom time. Tropical storm warning puts the mid-Atlantic coast under the threat of wind and flooding, and it will be flooding. We're talking about potential tropical cyclone 16. It is now offshore at 11 a.m. Friday, and it is set to make landfall tomorrow morning somewhere in central North Carolina. Let's take a look at the spaghetti models here showing the storm potentially stalling out in the mid-Atlantic. This is going to be heavy rain before it potentially moves offshore. Most of the models showing that, one showing it moving inland. But that means heavy rain for the inland mid-Atlantic here, Delaware, Maryland, in the Delmarva. So heavy rain. Let's take a look at the key messages for a potential Cyclone 16. Tropical storm conditions are expected along portions of the southeastern and mid-Atlantic U.S. coasts within the tropical storm warning area, which goes all the way from Philly south to South Carolina. There is a danger of life-threatening storm surge inundation over portions of the eastern North Carolina and southern Virginia, including Pamlico and Albemarle Sounds, the Neuse and Pamlico Rivers, the lower James River, lower Chesapeake Bay, where storm surge warnings are in place. You can see those peak storm surge forecasts from Chickateague south to Surf City. So heads up if you're in those regions. Heavy rainfall from the system could produce flash, urban, and small stream flooding impacts across portions of the mid-Atlantic states from North Carolina to New Jersey through Sunday, which won't be a fun day for many. Swells generated by the system will affect much of the U.S. East Coast through the weekend, likely causing life-threatening surf and rip currents. So stay out of the ocean. Not even fall, and heavy snow is falling on Utah. The calendar says September, but Mother Nature is still calling it summer. But that hasn't stopped Old Man Winter from making an early appearance in Utah. Take a look at some of the pictures here from Bryan Head, one of the ski resorts, with snow falling in Utah and more snow for the high elevations coming through the first week of October. It's game on for snow. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. California's coldest summer in more than a decade. Have you heard? Well, you heard now. And that's going to make a lot of the climate alarmists wonder what's actually going on. Or maybe they didn't get the memo. Tropical cyclone approaching the mid-Atlantic. Severe weather and heavy rainfall threats. Heavy rain, gusty winds, storm surge, high surf, and rip currents could be life-threatening, will impact the mid-Atlantic through this weekend. Meanwhile, strong to severe thunderstorms are expected to affect portions of the central U.S., including heavy to excessive rainfall through the weekend. For the intermontane region, below normal temperatures and some snow for the higher elevations. It was 34 this morning, and we've already had a frost, meaning our growing season has been 85 days. Not even 80 days. Now, if you're wondering where to move because you're trying to bug out from the insanity, these new insurance maps have come out, will make you pick a location much easier. You want to be picking a spot here in the light blue areas where the threat risk for catastrophic disasters is low, like Emory, Utah, 0.4% at risk. Obviously, you want to stay away from the Gulf Coast where that risk is crazy, 100% at risk for most of all of Florida. So I would stay away from the dark blue zones, head for the light blue like Archuleta County where we live, or any other region with risk less than 10%. All the links will be below for you to peruse at your leisure. 43 million worth of crops destroyed in devastating Spain hailstorm. Farmers in the southeastern Spain city of Valencia are reeling after severe weather struck the region over the weekend, destroying nearly $43 million worth of crops across thousands of acres of land. In some cases, nearly 100% of some farmers' crops were impacted. Now, all of these headlines we're sharing with you We predicted 8 years ago at the onset of all of this insanity. As we deepen into the grand solar minimum, there is going to be more extreme temperature swings, more extreme weather events that destroy crops. There will be human migration, and so on and so forth. And it has begun, and we're reporting on it. Record-breaking September snow hits Scandinavia. Holy macaroni. Seismic update, no quakes of note, normal activity around the Ring of Fire, which is good news because this is the least of our worries. A little bit of seismic enhancement on the continent of Iceland there, with moderate upticks on the Reykjanes Peninsula and at other major volcanoes. We'll keep a close eye on that as we move forward. Worldwide volcano news update. All normal activity worldwide with volcanoes. We've got Dukono to 7,000 feet, Reventador to 14,000, Sabancaya to 27, Nivato de Ruiz 24,000, Popo to 20, and Nishoshima in the Pacific Ocean of Japan. Strong degassing persists as the newest land on Earth continues to grow. Space weather news. There are those impulsive large M flares, one 2 days ago, one yesterday, and another long duration flare in the low M range happening just about 12 hours ago. All this is going to add up with 2 coronal hole streams to potentially bring geomagnetic storm over the weekend. And in fact, a minor G1 geomagnetic storm watch will be in effect beginning Saturday afternoon into Sunday, or perhaps even 2 coronal mass ejections are predicted to pass. 1 or 2 coronal mass ejections are predicted to pass Earth. Wow, that was a tongue twister. And there you can see those geomagnetic storm conditions for Saturday night into Sunday morning, which is good news for aurora watchers, because if this pokes up a little higher, we could see aurora as far south as Arizona like we did last week. And that is the largest of the flares happening about 24 hours ago, the M8.7 from active region 3435. Here is the WSA Enlil spiral solar wind prediction showing a minor spike from the 23rd through midday the 24th, which could lead to some low-level geomagnetic storms. Here's the coronal hole stream, and then you can see those CMEs 1, 2 coming out, cannibalizing each other and headed our way as one event here on the late on the 23rd into the 24th. So stay tuned for more updates. Permission denied for re-entry of Varda's orbiting experimental capsule. Now, the FAA says Varda launched its vehicle into space without a re-entry license, and they wanted to crash land it in the middle of Utah. And the FAA said no. So what do you do now? Anybody's guess. All the links will be below. NASA shares unprecedented view of the moon's South Pole region, and it is in high def, and it is glorious. So take a look at the highly detailed photo linked below. Elon Musk may be going bankrupt as Starlink loses over 200 satellites in 2 months, according to tracker data. Now, out of 5,000 Starlink satellites shot up into space, only 4,500 are operational. That means 500 are missing or doomed. And in fact, 200 have been lost in the last 2 months. Don't travel to these countries if you're American, according to the U.S. government. Well, I probably wouldn't go to any of these countries, even if I could. So there's that. But if you're traveling, please check the map out and stay away from places like Myanmar, North Korea, Afghanistan, and Iran. Hello. Stock slide after Fed pauses, hints at higher interest rates for longer. You know what that means? Recession is afoot, and it will be, well, king for several years to come as stock markets tank. You need to hedge your bets. Don't be scared. Be prepared. You should be buying food supplies, seeds, long-term food storage, secure water. Learn how to wild harvest. Be prepared, not scared. This was sent to me by Willie Soon this morning. Devastating risks of transitioning to green energy. Mining for electric-powered minerals has left 23 million people exposed to toxic waste and 500,000 kilometers of rivers polluted, 16 million of acres of farmland ruined. There is nothing green about this green energy agenda. It is the most destructive, catastrophic idea ever fleeced on the human population. You want to see what it does, some of the brainwashing does to the fleece population? Check out our talk at the Crestone Energy Fair, Reclaim Your Sovereignty. We weren't able to even reclaim our talk because of some crazy climate change lunatic. You can see most of the footage of our interruptions, which last about 15 minutes, here, link below. And also an amazing live interview tonight where you'll be able to send us your questions and get some answers. Flat Earth Climate Science with Joe Postma, The Climate of Sophistry. That is his website, and we're going to be talking about climate alarm debunking, which, well, apparently this lady needs a little bit of. And that's a boom to knowledge. More to come. We're also interviewing Crestone Radio to get to the bottom of what happened on Sunday. And the Crestone Eagle, the newspaper in the region, has reached out for a comment. So stay tuned for that as well. Join us tonight with the live stream event with Joe Postma over at Oppenheimer Ranch Project. And that is a boom. Please share this video as we are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We're very busy trying to transition from our return from Crestone. Be safe. We love you.